Hello, and welcome back to Threads of Fate, the season finale of Threads of Fate. I am joined today by Elizabeth, our very own Illmaye. Elizabeth, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good.
Glad to hear it. This is the season finale, as this is the final member of the Hands of Fate that we have yet to talk to. We are thinking about potentially doing another episode in a couple weeks, potentially, with me just answering questions from Twitch chat and from social media and that kind of stuff about the world. But we'll update you when that gets more serious. So, let's talk about Illmaye. So, Elizabeth, walk into a room. I see Illmaye. What am I looking at?
Okay, so she's very short for being a demigod. Like five, I think I said like what, 5'3", something like that.
Sure.
So she's very, very slight, little girl, like person. She's only 16 to 17 years old, so she's the youngest in the group. She has a short, straight black hair, chin length. So the little mini of her is not quite accurate. She does not have the her sides shaved, but that was the best we had.
Yeah, there's surprisingly not that many different hair options on Hero Forge for short, straight hair. So she's a little cooler in the Hero Forge than she is in real life.
yeah. So and then she has blue eyes, I think. Yes. And one of the most biggest thing about her is that her I don't remember which hand I said. One of her hands.
I think it's left, but I could be making it up.
I think it's left too. Is completely burned all the way up, like from all of her hand up to her wrist. So that's one thing that she has going for her there. And she wears all black. She's very she likes to try and hide. So black cloak, black clothes, all that stuff.
For sure. Very much a rogue in style as well.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that burn a bit. So when you were building your character, you asked me if it was possible to be a demigod but to not know your parentage. And I said, I mean, technically, yes, it's a bit hard because demigods are born with this radiant brand somewhere on their body, the symbol of their godly parent. But if you really, because obviously there's a lot of interesting story elements that can come from not knowing who your god is. If you want to pursue that, we can figure out some ways to essentially take that mark off of you. And what we arrived at was that it has been burned off of you. So that's fun. So and it's an interesting sort of dynamic because Elizabeth knows who Illmaye's father is, but Illmaye does not. So
yeah,
I'm curious from your perspective, like how do you balance that, knowing that you have a significant piece of knowledge that your character is trying to figure out?
Well, right now I haven't done a whole lot of like work into having Illmaye figure out who her father is, mainly because she just has other things on her mind right now, and
sure.
she's had her whole life not knowing who her father was, not knowing any of that, and she's okay for right now. When she has the time, yeah, she'll try to probably explore things. And so like right now she knows like some gods are not her father. Pretty sure none of the any of the other party members' fathers are not hers.
Probably not.
Because they do not share the same thing. But she still tried one just for the heck of it.
That was before stream, right?
That was before stream.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before stream, there was right after Illmaye sort of joined the group after the gauntlet. Illmaye went to the Temple of Poseidon with Ryujin just to like see if she felt any sort of connection with Poseidon, and it did not go well.
No, I think she almost like drowned herself when she got in the water.
Classic. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for equally disastrous opportunities in every other temple. So do you, and we're sort of jumping ahead a bit, but do you think that that's something that Illmaye will eventually consider somewhat of a priority for her to figure out who her father is?
Yes, I do feel like eventually it's just she's dealing with Keeneye right now.
Sure.
And that's kind of like prevalent for her. So she's focused on that right now, and she knows she has all her life to figure out who her father is. So it's kind of on the back burner.
For sure. So let's talk a bit, because you are unique in the game in that you were not an original party member. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that Lothos was an original party member but had to leave due to scheduling conflicts. And so I really wanted to have a 5-person party, mostly because the Gauntlet of Valor is always five members go into the Gauntlet of Valor. So I just feel like 5 is a good number. And so I reached out across the internet and found you. So you have an interesting perspective where you came into a story in progress. So what was that like? What were your first impressions of everyone else when you just started observing the game?
Yeah, so I spent 2 episodes just watching because it wasn't time to introduce my character yet. And I was like, I've never been in a campaign before, so never had that experience. And I felt like it was really interesting. I mean, it kept my attention throughout the whole thing, because I felt like everybody had a pretty good dynamic and could role play pretty well without like needing a lot of help to progress the story, I would say. And I thought that it would be really good fit. I was just nervous about how my character would deal with everybody else, because of like who she is. And so like, and I think that's like one main reason why there has been very little like discussion about backstories and about like what people are wanting to do, just because on Illmaye at least she doesn't like want anybody to know. I'm pretty sure the first time that she was introduced, she didn't even tell the party her name.
Yeah. I think you guys went through the entire gauntlet without knowing Illmaye's name.
Yeah, because she definitely did not want to be there, but she knew how the gauntlet worked since she grew up in Delphi. So she knew she had to be there, but she didn't want to. And so that's a little hard for her. And like being with the family, not really having one before, has been a big change for her, I feel like. Trying to figure out if that's what she wants and stuff.
For sure.
So
jumping off that a bit, going into more of the little about Illmaye's backstory that we know. You are a Delphi girl. You're a native to Delphi. You've spent a lot of time in the underground of Delphi. What else, not talking about the memory, which we'll get to later, but what else about Illmaye's backstory has been revealed to the party?
Yeah, I feel like a pretty major part of her backstory was revealed just because being in Delphi, being the new person, she had to probably say something. So, oops, sorry. She had to like give them some kind of information. So I think that everybody knows who Keeneye is to her. I don't think they know the specifics,
but they definitely know that you and Keeneye have a history and you do not get along.
Yes. Well, no, I'm pretty sure I told them that Keeneye was the one to kill her mom, to kill Illmaye's mom. I did say that, and that's the bad blood between the two of them. And that's why she hates his guts. I don't know if they know how long she's known him. At least, I think they know she's known him quite a while.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been actually specified to them. But there's, it wasn't just like a random man kills your mother and now that's your feud. Like there's a whole relationship there. Yeah,
and I was just like glad that everybody just kind of accepted it. And I mean, it's been said in our previous episodes, it's like that everybody wants to kill Keeneye on Illmaye's behalf, even though they don't want to. And then
they didn't like the guy to begin with, so now that they like have some reason to believe that like their dislike of him is genuine, they're like, yeah, let's just kill him.
Yeah, I know, but it's going to be so hard to try and kill him, but
yes,
we're going to try.
I think he's a level 18 wizard.
Oh god.
He's got 9th level spells in his pocket.
Man.
Good luck.
We're going to try.
Yeah. We'll check back in on the race to kill Keeneye at level 20 when we're done with the main campaign. You'll go back and you'll kill Keeneye. So now let's talk about the memory. So again, for those of you who haven't seen these episodes before,
sorry, he's
no
very
worries.
needy.
For those of you who haven't seen the episodes before, just before the attack on Delphi, the Link of Mnemosyne sent out a psychic blast to everyone in the city that made them relive past traumas or traumatic memories. And while the party members had not discussed it amongst themselves, in-game, I communicated everyone's memories out loud. So all the players have heard each other's memories, but the characters don't yet know it. And your memory, we'll talk about the specifics of the memory now, but it's worth mentioning that, like Adagio, this is a memory that you did not have. It was a memory that had previously been taken from you. So let's talk about what exactly you experienced.
Yeah, so I think this memory definitely made her hate Keeneye even more.
Sure,
because
understandable.
It opens up into me being at my home. Sorry, you got cat butt now.
Listen, that's fine.
Me being at my home with my mother before she was killed, and I used to hang out with this kid named Philippos, and he was there as well, and I hear voices and an argument, and so I sneak down the stairs to figure out what the heck is going on here, and sorry, I have to make sure I have this all right.
Yeah, this is heavy lore.
Yeah, and so I hear Keeneye talking to Philippos's family, and they're talking about Keeneye taking Philippos because he has some kind of power of some sort, and I actually witness him prodding Philippos enough to where he explodes pretty much,
basically,
and he kills his parents from it, and he kills himself too from that. And so then Keeneye has somebody bring him back, and then pretty much just he takes him. But then my mother hears this and rushes down. I didn't have time to stop her, so she goes down to figure out what's going on. And then Keeneye was like, well, maybe I should kill you too so I don't have any witnesses. And then my mom was like, no, don't. Same thing with killing me, and she's like, don't do that. And so that's how Keeneye figures out that I'm a demigod, because my mother told him, pretty much.
Yeah, basically your mother was like, if you have to kill us, kill me, but save her. She is a demigod, please take me instead. But also a crucial part of this moment is Keeneye knows who your father is and you do not. And that was also revealed in this moment, that it seemed like he sort of read her mind or did some sort of weird mind magic and seemed to get the information from her, not vocally. So there's that as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. So so that all happened, and then he comes up to me and pretty much wipes my memory. Had no clue that went down.
Yeah, a classic little modify memory. In fact, I think I haven't done this before, but I think I'm gonna read a paragraph from your actual backstory, just so that people can see what that memory was originally.
Mm-hmm.
So here's that moment in your original backstory. Philippos and I were close when we were little, though I hardly remember him now. He was a quiet child from what I can recall, and naturally gifted with some arcane capabilities. What exactly he could do now escapes my memory, but I remember being entranced by it. And then one day, the downstairs floor was empty. It was completely cleared out, with no sign that anyone had ever lived there at all. I asked Mother if she knew what had happened, but she knew as little as I did. I remember thinking it was strange, since we hadn't left the house and the walls were so thin. Surely we would have heard them packing up and leaving, but we didn't. And then I made it awful.
yeah, because I remember you making my backstory and had that in there, and I was like, huh, okay, just a little extra bit. Yeah, completely Didn't even think of anything else.
Yeah. So, and also, maybe worth noting of talking about how we come up with backstories. Basically, you guys have free reign of what you want your characterization to be. Sometimes people made like rough drafts of a backstory, or just like sent me bullet points of a backstory, like different things that happen, and then I would shoot back with some like options for some stuff. Like, so you wrote that you wanted to have a little brother, so we can do it this way or this way or this way, blah blah blah, sort of like choose your own adventure style. And then I would write out the like full formal backstory from your perspective, get the approval from you, and then it's canon. So when I was writing that in the backstory, I was like, oh, this is going to be a perfect memory for Mnemosyne to pop out. I love it. Great. So going off of that and just let's talk about Keeneye a bit more than we already have. So your intentions for Keeneye are quite clear. In the campaign, you are currently trying to put together a poison for him, an anti-magic poison as well. But, you know, Illmaye and Elizabeth are very aware that he's a very powerful man. So what exactly is your, not like what's your plan, but what are you hoping comes from your confrontation with Keeneye?
Well, I mean, the big thing for Illmaye is she just wants him dead. She doesn't want to like know his reasonings or anything. She would like to know more about Philippos and like where he's at. I mean, she attempted to try and like look around the underground, but she's mainly just focused on getting rid of Keeneye because she hates him like absolutely. She's hoping that this potion that she's getting made will help in some way, but then she also can probably is going to use that coin
to
from
just
those like
get the
elite...
refraction to assassinate him.
Yeah, that's like
real.
the backup. Like she wants to first try it her way, and if it doesn't work, because she doesn't think Keeneye will kill her. Hopefully, I don't know. I hope.
Yeah,
not, but...
like it's really unclear. I mean, Keeneye is one of those like constantly manipulating, constantly calculating villains, you know.
Yeah.
So it's sort of unclear what his end goals are, but at least what he's communicated to the party is that he's very interested in divinity and godliness and the relationship between gods and demigods. And he has unearthed a spell, an ancient spell, that allows demigods to essentially have a very close, intimate conversation with their deity. But it requires a demigod as like a vessel for this ritual. And so before the stream started, Keeneye had essentially offered all of the demigods to begin performing this ritual. It takes a month to prepare. So right now, Keeneye and his people are preparing 4 different rituals for the 4 different demigods in your party. And it's one of those, like, you guys agreed to let him start doing it, but who knows if you guys are actually going to follow through with it. But it's an option for you. And again, it's like, that sounds cool, but there's no way I trust Keeneye, so what the fuck, like, what's the plan here?
Yeah, so, we haven't really discussed much. I mean, it's a little ways away until that ritual will occur, so, I'm just trying to prepare, like, Illmaye's trying to prepare herself for that, I guess. Like, that's her, like, deadline, to be able to, like, gather all of her things to try and get rid of him. She doesn't know how she's going to administer that poison, but she at least
Listen, there's a lot of blurry lines in this assassination plan.
Yeah, she's not the most she's not very good at like thinking ahead. She's more of trying to just go at the moment, and so trying to plan this out has been very tough.
For sure. But hey, if anyone is gonna assassinate him, the rogue assassin is a great person to try.
Yeah, she's tried, that's for sure.
Yeah. So besides Keeneye, besides figuring out what the deal is with your dad, let's talk about Illmaye, end of the story. Past level 20, world is saved, Illmaye can retire or do whatever she wants, what do you imagine Illmaye doing, or at the very least, what do you think would it take for Illmaye to feel satisfied?
Well, I know definitely getting rid of Keeneye at some point would make her very happy. And so the new mystery of figuring out what the heck happened with Philippos would also be nice. She'd like to try and reconnect, try and figure out. I think she'd really like to know the inner minds of Keeneye, of like why he did all the things he did. Definitely,
yeah, it's like it's one of those things where like you would hate to give him the opportunity to talk about his stuff while he's alive, but like after he's dead, examine his brain, you know?
Yeah.
Like, shut up, don't speak, let me kill you, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so definitely she would love to know, like, why he did all that he did, trying to figure out all of that. And then obviously knowing who her dad is. Now, at this moment, she doesn't know if she wants to have an actual relationship with who her father is. More of she just wants to know and then probably like stick it in his face. It's like, ha, now I know who you are and leave me alone. I don't ever want to see you again. It's kind of like where she's at right now.
Sure.
With that. So
that's fair.
Yeah. I don't know what she would do after she is finished with Keeneye, because she's pretty young and she's had this on her mind. Not for a long time, but it's very prevalent for her.
For sure, she's a little murder machine. I sort of picture her like Arya Stark a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could see that. She's got a list. Definitely. Yeah, pretty much. So,
yeah.
I don't know what she'll do afterwards, for sure.
Well, hey, we've got a whole campaign to figure it out, you know? Yeah. So, let's talk a bit about, obviously Illmaye is the newcomer to the group, but how, does she feel like she has had enough time with them to sort of cement a certain position in the group, or does she still feel like she's trying to figure out who she is amongst these people?
Definitely she feels like she hasn't known them long enough to like reveal a whole lot. I mean, that's why she sneaks out at night a lot, doing things on her own. And I definitely feel like since the age of how old she was revealed, everybody treats her as the little kid.
Sure.
Because everybody's like at least 4 or 5 years older than
like that. I mean, like they call you a kid, but like they're all in their early 20s.
Yeah, I know. So definitely feel like being a lot younger than everybody else makes her feel like they don't take her as seriously, I guess. Because they do say that. They do say it a lot, saying she's just a little kid.
Yeah.
And all of that. So definitely doesn't like that a lot, but not something that she'll actually go and confront them about.
For sure.
Oh yeah, definitely the person that just works in the background.
Love that. Hey, I mean that's the class, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think there's anything that's important for the audience to know about Illmaye that we haven't really touched on yet?
I don't think so. I mean, the like big thing for her is Keeneye, and we greatly talked about what he is to her, at least as far as like what everybody should know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to say about her.
Great. And that's great, because even though it feels like we know a pretty sizable chunk of Illmaye's backstory, there's still a lot in there that has not come up. Just like everyone else, as we've discovered through this Threads of Fate series, there's a lot of juicy stuff left to be uncovered, which is great because you guys are level 5. You know, we've got 3/4 of a campaign left.
Yeah.
So good. Well, I'm glad. Elizabeth, thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for watching this entire season of Threads of Fate. Do continue to check our socials for information on if we're gonna do a DM special in a couple weeks, and think of any questions that you want to ask. Obviously, I won't answer any questions that are like plot relevant, but I'll answer everything I can about the creation of the world or the story or anything, you know, Aruksal's plan, like anything that happened before the stream or during the stream that I can talk about, I'll talk about if you guys are interested. So Elizabeth, thank you for joining me. Audience, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in on Monday for episode 7 of the Links of Tartarus campaign. And episode 6 of the Links of Tartarus campaign should be live on YouTube either right now or will be immediately after this finishes airing. You're definitely going to want to check out episode 6 if you missed it, because it's a lot. A lot happened.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I did not expect it, but a lot happened. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye!